terms like dealer price, list price, invoice. TrueCar shows you how to save $3,000 off MSRP. Shows you the inside details as you're headed to a TrueCar certified dealer to pick something up. TrueCar.com. Okay, he founded thebiglead.com, host of The Big Lead on Fox Sports Radio, my friend J-Mac. Jason McIntyre now coming on the show. So let's just start.
Hello.
Hello. Good to see you.
Great to see you.
Before we get to the Super Bowl thing, I just want to do a couple minutes on LeBron. Now, I know it's not going to happen. I know. But Jason Whitlock yesterday was repulsed by the idea. And I always say, consumption's the truth serum. You can tell me you don't like something.
All right.
I'm going to watch your consumer habits. And if you go, like they always say, nobody watches porn. It made $9 billion last year. Somebody's watching.
I know nothing about that.
Okay, so in the 70s, when we had parity in the NBA, Portland won, Seattle won, Phoenix could have won a title. God, it was just Washington won. Nobody watched the league. It was almost bankrupt. Yeah. Then you got dynasties with Magic and Bird, and everybody watched. If he went to Golden State, you would be watching the greatest team without argument ever. People wouldn't watch that?
Is he starting on Golden State? Be honest. I think the answer is no, Colin. I don't think you can start him. He'd come off the bench in Golden State. What are you, taking off Klay Thompson? You taking off that awesome shooting of Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
You're going to take off Draymond Green, the whole system, the way they work? No, Colin, seriously, I would probably watch a little bit, but they would destroy everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't think that would be good. I argued, I think last week on your show, that this Patriots 18-year run is not really good for the NFL. I think we disagreed a little bit, but it gets a little stale, the Patriots, right?
Yeah, I think.
Don't you think the Warriors would be totally stale?
I do, but I think it would be the greatest team ever, and I think there would be drama. I think LeBron, KD, and Steph could last so long because I do. Christine's noted this. Listen, I love LeBron, but let's just not kid ourselves. Between the decision, between Miami, between Cleveland, LeBron is, Doug Gottlieb said this, he leaves and the family's like, the downstairs is a mess. What happened with our kids? LeBron creates a little bit of a hazmat
You
spill.
think? Just a little bit? You know what this feels like? I wrote this on the Big Lead this week, that LeBron is kind of pouting and stomping his foot. You're not going to let me go to a sleepover at my buddy's house? I'm going to move out. I'm going to go live in the yard. You know when your kid tells you that and gets all upset?
His face looks like it right there, actually, behind Colin.
That's kind of what LeBron is doing right now. Last week, Colin, everywhere. LeBron to the Rockets. This week, LeBron to the Warriors. This is LeBron's way of telling the Cavs, Dan, do something. Please help me. I don't want to leave, but fix this thing so I can stay. And he's really throwing like a temper tantrum. Do you follow him on Instagram, right?
I don't, but I know.
Did you see what he did? All last season, it's pictures with his crew, right? Isaiah Thomas and Jay Crowder, all the new guys that they added in the offseason. Who's he hanging out with this week? Dwayne Wade and Udonis Haslem. That's his way of saying, man, I don't feel good around these guys right now. I'm going to hang with my people. And LeBron's just got this passive-aggressive thing about him. And I know you hate that in life. I certainly do when people – just be upfront. LeBron, just come out and say it. Why won't you sign? Where do you want to go? Answer the questions. You're holding the Cavs back, and you're right. Gottlieb said he's a drama king. And I believe he is.
Yeah, no, I think there's something to be said about that. Let me segue to the Super Bowl.
All right, here we go.
And by the way, I had 60% winners this year. I hit 73% when the wise guys agreed with me in my RJ Bell podcast, and you can listen to that tomorrow. But I made some calls last night, and my feeling is that the smart money is on New England. Now, it's funny. There's a bettor out there called Better X. He is not a professional gambler.
No, he's just a guy with money.
He's a guy with money. Now, he's all on Philadelphia. So let's just talk about the game. Let's go headlines.
Yes.
If the Patriots win, J-Mac, what's the headline?
I think your headline after the Patriots win would be, Fly, Eagles, fly, back home to the couch to sulk. Right? I think that's what it's going to be. Everybody's going to, the Eagles, they were here. They were charmed, a team of destiny. And now it's over. And Tom Brady is the greatest ever, as we know. Oldest quarterback to win a Super Bowl. He'll be, I think he's already 40.
Yeah.
And then the question becomes, well, should he ride off into the sunset? Listen, John Elway did it. Awesome exit to his NFL career. We saw Michael Jordan do it with the Bulls, although he did come back. And I just wonder if he were to stick around. Remember, Peyton Manning also won the Super Bowl. He was not very good and left. I just wonder, does he run the risk of hurting his legacy if he wins the Super Bowl and then comes back and doesn't win another?
Well, this is the interesting part because, as I've said ad nauseum here, Belichick has helped both coordinators get jobs. Never done that. Belichick has no succession plan at quarterback after Tom. He got less than market value on both. That's never happened. Third, he's at an NBA game last night. 2 nights ago, he smiled 33 times.
You're counting his smiles now?
Well, this is very off-brand. So he's done 3 things he's never done. Here's what I believe. Brady's going to play. He's absolutely 100% back. I believe this morning, I drove to work, I said it yesterday, 50-50 Belichick retires. I would lean 55-45 Belichick retires.
Well, if that happens, people in New England are going to end up blaming Tom Brady. You drove off Jimmy Garoppolo, and then you drove off Belichick. That will end ugly for Tom Brady if that comes to fruition. I don't know if it will. The smart move is for Tom Brady to retire. But then the question is, who's the quarterback next year? So Brady's kind of put himself in a no-win situation in New England. I know that sounds obscene, greatest quarterback ever, but Colin, he runs the risk, if he doesn't leave, of some major problems next year in New England.
Okay, now let's have a different headline. What if the Eagles win?
All right, well, this is the unlikely scenario. I don't see this happening, but I could see the headline Monday. Eagles win. The headline is Time 1, Tom 0. You like
so
that?
He's too old.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, come on. Nobody's ever been 40 and won a Super Bowl. Peyton Manning was 39. Brady last year was 39. But then you begin the questions. Well, in Philadelphia, Nick Foles just won a Super Bowl. Remember when Jeff Hostetler won the Super Bowl? And Phil Simms was, I believe, 35. But guess who was the starting quarterback next year in the New York Giants? Jeff Hostetler, the guy who won the Super Bowl. Now, we both agree that Carson Wentz is better than Foles.
Yes, by far.
But you can't win a Super Bowl, win that game in Minnesota like you did 2 weeks ago against the Vikings, and then all of a sudden just go to the bench. I don't think that's going to fly.
No, I think what Nick Foles is going to do is
demand a trade.
He's going to get offered by like an Arizona.
But no, he's under contract, I believe, for one more year.
They make a trade for him. Somebody's going to trade for him.
So you're going to just let him go after he wins the Super Bowl?
Of course.
He's a folk hero. I mean, in Philadelphia.
Don't play to emotion. Wentz is better by a mile, not close. You get a pick for him. You trade him. You get a pick. You know what you do? You draft another offensive lineman to protect Carson Wentz.
Or a cornerback. But what about if Tom loses the Super Bowl, Colin? If Tom Brady loses the Super Bowl, he's now 5-3, I believe, in the Super Bowl. He will have the lucky victory with the Malcolm Butler interception. I see the sneering already.
This is getting into
Atlanta
hot take
Falcons.
territory.
No, Colin, we got to keep it real here. If he loses the Super Bowl,
quarterback all time, it will never change. Nobody will ever. By the way,
you don't think he can fall from 1 to 2?
No.
Colin, a minor disagree. Listen, if you lose 2 Super Bowls to Eli Manning, who's a borderline Hall of Famer, his regular season numbers are crap, and Nick Foles and Doug Peterson, a decade ago, Doug Peterson's coaching high school football in Louisiana. If he somehow pulls off a miracle, beating Belichick and Brady, this is a black mark on Tom Brady's resume.
I don't think at all. What's your final score?
I'm going 31-17 Patriots.
I have 31-21. Patriots. See, we
Great
both see the same thing.
Think alike.
People are overvaluing the win over Minnesota.
Do you know what the line would have been in the Super Bowl before the NFC Championship game?
What?
Patriots favored by 7. Now it's 4.5. I mean, why are we moving the line? Because the Eagles won at home against the Vikings. Nick Foles had a career game. I feel bad because, I just moved out here from Philadelphia a year and a half ago. So all my Eagles fans back home are angry at me, but they got no shot in this one.
All right, Jason McIntyre, good stuff. Christine with the news.
No. Heard on the news. This is the Herd Line News.